I'm Gurraj Singh Shahpuri and I'm a business coach. I'm also a leadership trainer. As a coach, I'm also a consultant because my clients, they not only hire me for coaching, but they also want solutions. To be successful, I think we have to realize that your biggest competition is you. You're not measuring yourself against what other people are doing. You have to measure yourself against what you could have done. Successful people don't have time, they make time. Now, I was born in Iran, and that is surprising to a lot of people, but I wasn't aware of this when I was born, and nobody chooses where they were born. My parents, my father, in fact, his father before him and his father before him, they were all in Iran for a long time, and they didn't choose to be there either. In fact, my grandfather was stationed in Iran by the British Railway. He was at the farthest outpost, the Indian outpost of the British Railway. And at that time, borders weren't really defined. And one day in 1947, when they carved out the border between India and Pakistan, people don't realize that the border between Pakistan and, because on the other side now it was Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iran was also defined, and it was all a desert area, so nobody cared 100 kilometers here or there. But the town that this whole Punjabi community was living in, this turned out to be in Iran. And that was very surprising for them. And the government of Iran was very nice. They said, you can keep living here. You'll have international travel papers. You can live here as Indian citizens. And that was the end of that. And then the family moved to Tehran, which was the capital city eventually. And that's where I was born. It's been a long journey since I've been in India. I migrated here in the year 2002. My purpose of living in India was to create that dent that India needs in society, to create such an extraordinary future for the youth of tomorrow. That's why I started Promise, which is India's largest life skills and leadership program till date. The concept behind Promise was that we see a whole bunch of kids in India doing extraordinarily well, but why is it that when these kids in the young age, when they go to North America, we understood that there was a huge gap between what the schools taught here and the personality that these kids needed to achieve huge things in life. And that's where we came in. It was hard because it was all after school programs. Kids had to come after schools, but we also had a lot of accountability built in. So the kids would have to sit with their one-to-one coaches. And that's when coaching became a big thing for us. Then these coaches would follow up with these kids on a daily basis about, hey, what time did you wake up? What did you do after school? What about that to-do list? Are you following the things that we talked about? Are those actionables being put into place? Are you following your timetable? Hey, are you having dinner at 7 o'clock? Are you going to sleep at the right time? And I was the one that was leading that whole initiative because I knew, like I said, by planning, design, and hard work, it's possible to lead an extraordinary life. The journey from Promise to business coaching was very exciting for me. It was a planned journey because when I left Promise, I left it with some tremendous people who I knew would run it even better than I was running it. And I'm still part of Promise. I still talk to them about the things that they're doing, and they still ask me about the direction they're taking. When you talk about coaching in its true sense, what it means is that you sit with somebody and you help them through a series of questions, get answers out of them. And when I could take what their problems were and build on their solutions and say that, these are some additional things that I know of, and if this works for you, let's create a set of actionables around this and let's implement this strategy. People were very happy and they started paying me for that, because when you can solve a problem, I think you're in business automatically. When you can solve a problem somebody has, and when you are the solution person. Now, the difference between a coach and a trainer is obvious, but as a coach, I'm also a consultant because my clients, they not only hire me for coaching, but they also want solutions. By design, planning, and hard work, people can live an extraordinary life. Rather, let me say that again. By design, planning, and hard work, people can choose to live an extraordinary life. And most people don't make that choice because it's too hard. Design isn't rocket science. Planning is a little harder. but implementation is where everybody stumbles. Turning those thoughts into reality. I fervently believe in the power of goals. I fervently believe in the power of execution. And when goals and execution come together, you can do big things. And when people set goals that are remarkably big, that are outrageously big, and they set out to achieve them, you would be surprised how many foolish people have done such incredible things and how many really smart people haven't amounted to much. That's the difference. That's the difference between, I guess, what I do and what others set out to do. My father's name was Sher Bahadur Singh Shahpuri. Now that's a very grand name and a lot to live up to, and he did live up to that. He was a remarkable man. Hundreds of people in life, maybe thousands, have told me your father was a remarkable man, and he left quite a legacy. He was always the peacemaker. He was always the person that would make people understand, look, hard work and getting along leads to success. There was a lot of expectations from me to follow in my father's footsteps to be the man he was, but that was impossible. He was a remarkable man. My mother, Amrit Kaur Shahpuri, she was a very elegant lady, very well spoken. She was very fashionable, very grounded. My lifestyle, the way I govern myself, the minimalism, the way I talk, the choice of words, I think that I picked up from my mother. Everybody I meet, I don't remember a single day of my life that has gone by in which somebody or another hasn't reminded me of my mother and what a remarkable lady she was. I had an older brother, Jyoti, we called him, Jyotkiran Singh Shahpuri. Now he was wonderful, he was remarkable, he was the personality guy out of the two of us. He was the one I would always follow. Anytime I was doing something, it was because I was influenced by him or learned it from him. I miss everything about my brother. He was the life of the party anytime we were anywhere. He had a lot of personality. He lived life to the fullest. He died quite young. He died on April 1st, one day in 1999, one day before his birthday. His birthday was on April 2nd. So we celebrate April 2nd. We celebrate everything about April 2nd. My sister Tej, we call her Gudiya, she is just like me in a lot of ways. She looks a lot like me. We both look like our mom. We have a very similar design taste. We like similar foods. I'm vegetarian and she is not, but if she was vegetarian, I guess we would like the same foods. We had a great time growing up together, although she was 4 years younger, so we didn't get to spend a lot of time with each other because she was with her friend group and I was with my brother and his friends. But we had a great childhood together. My wife, Amri Shahpuri, she's phenomenal. She's superwoman, exceptionally bright, very high IQ, very pretty. We've known each other since the very first day of the first class I attended in college. My wife and I are completely opposite people in every single way. The only thing we had in common was we were both vegetarians. We did fight a lot. We had our ups and downs, and no marriage is perfect, but after that, we made it through the thick and thin, and we have a beautiful marriage. My wife has a degree in cell biology and genetics, and I'm very proud of her because her genetics degree is from the premier institute in the world where the most Nobel Prizes of genetics have been given. She started teaching for Teach for India, and Teach for India is just like Teach for UK and Teach for America, where she was teaching slum kids, and she was very proud of this. After that, she went into all sorts of social welfare and water hygiene and sanitation and all sorts of things, and CSR, and now she handles partnerships for the world's biggest education technology company. So she has dedicated her life to education technology and giving away money. So that's a big thing for her. So I have two lovely, beautiful kids. My son, he's the elder one, Veer Shahpuri, Veer Singh Shahpuri. He's a phenomenal kid. Great values, very intelligent, very exceptionally intelligent actually. He's good at a lot of things that I was never good at. Veer has done very well in life always, and he's making me proud day to day, every single day. My daughter, Manya, she's 2 years younger. And with Manya, you're so busy trying to do everything for the first child that the second one, I guess they're let off easy. She learned a lot from her elder brother. She got a lot of notes from him every year. And every year when she was in the same classes that he was in 2 years later, she actually did better most of the times with less pressure. And that was surprising because, how could this be? I think that let that be a lesson to everybody. And it was a lesson to us as parents that, ease up on the pressure a little bit. Sometimes it works out better. Every morning I get up at 4:52 by the clock, and I'll be doing my work, I'll be making my to-do list, I'll be writing my goals, I'll be doing all sorts of things. And at 6 o'clock, I'll go to the gym. By 6 o'clock, I'm at the gym. From 6 to 7 is gym time because we have to have an hour for our own bodies every single day. And at 7 o'clock, I'll come back from the gym, spend some time with my wife. My manager, Rishi, comes up at around 9 o'clock, and we're good to go. My first clients, I see them at 9 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock when I'm working, and when I start my day with that, it feels good because by the end of the day, there's so much to do, but it feels good that we got a lot done as well. And I was able to add value to my clients. I was able to do a lot of things because one of my life philosophy is that we have to do as much as we can, otherwise it's unethical. To be successful, I think we have to realize that your biggest competition is you, because you're not measuring yourself against what other people are doing. You have to measure yourself against what you could have done. Every day, if every single day we live our best life, that we prime our subconscious every single morning. And what I do is I actually write out my goals on yellow paper with blue ink every single morning. Just my primary goals, not all 18 of them, about 5 or 6 of them that are relevant in those days. Then I've etched my subconscious with those goals. Why settle? Why settle for mediocrity? One of my biggest fears in life is the fear of mediocrity. A lot of people say, well, my fear of failure gets the best of me. They say that about themselves. And I say, well, that's going to happen. The faster you run, the harder you're going to fall. Everybody fails. That's just a part of it. And the most successful people fail more often because they run faster than others. And it's how quickly they bounce back. That is the mark of a successful person, according to what my father used to say. He'd say, just bounce back quickly. And after that, if you can just keep razor sharp focused on your goals and just keep doing what you're set out to do, I think life becomes extraordinary. Why settle for ordinary when extraordinary is an option? I turned 14 and my father gave me a gift. He gave me a book and he said, son, this book is going to change your life. You have to read this book. And I opened it up and it turned out to be Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And in the preface of the book, it said that you should read this book once a month. I never got around to reading it once a month, but I have read it about once or twice a year, every year. And this book has changed my life. Now, I loved music as a child, but not listening to it per se. I loved playing music. And my favorite song in English is a song from 1983 from a group called UB40 called Red Red Wine. And another song I like, ironically again, a song about alcohol, is called Ye Halka Halka Sarur. So Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan sang this song, and I really like this song. So the irony is that being a teetotaler, my 2 favorite songs are about alcohol. So that's just funny. One of the things that people don't know about me, and I hope we can keep it a secret, but one of my education qualifications is I have a diploma, I beg your pardon, in interior design. And when I went to design school, I learned interior design. I was very happy. I was very happy about it, and 2 years later I had a diploma. For the youth of today, there's two things I want to talk about. Your golden time and your golden age. If you want to have a tremendous golden age, which is when you're 60 plus, you have to spend your golden time wisely. You have to get up early every morning. You have to be very razor focused. You have to be goal oriented. Do as much as you can, learn as much as you can, become as much as you can. Because by the time you're 30, and when the whirlwind of life catches up, if your foundation by that time has been about tremendous learnings and a lot of hard work and great ideas and creating brilliance, if that's your foundation, anything that you put on that will grow, and it'll grow nicely. There's going to be careers that are going to be passion careers, and there's going to be careers that you might not have such a passion for, but they'll be enough to be earning you enough money to live your lifestyle and to be able to feed your family and your children. You're going to have to pick both. You're going to have to pick both. Some people have noticed to a point where they've said that, Mr. Shahpuri, we're calling from so-and-so organization and we've heard about the great stuff that you do and we've nominated you for an award, or somebody else has nominated you for an award. That's been exciting, because when I was getting an award from Kiran Kher, one of my heroes, she's made such incredible movies, I felt good. It was a leadership award I got from her. And I've also won Coach of the Year award, the Coach of the Year award 3 times. And 3 times I've even been on magazine covers, which was very exciting for me, because when people recognize your talents to that degree, when it's not that I was saying something about myself. I guess when the world says it or when somebody else says it, then you feel good, and then you know that, you know what, I guess people have noticed. So that's been nice.
When I see Gulraj, I see he has compassion in him. He has this life in him to connect with people, to care about people, to reach out to people. Many of us would think, why make the effort? Why try? But for him, that doesn't cross his mind. It's always, what can I do for others? How can I help them to be better? How are the people around me a reflection of me? So I feel he generally believes that being a leader means, how do you make other people successful leaders too? Being a father and a husband, I think those roles, he also very early had to adapt those roles. I think he became a father very young. Both of us got married very young. But I see the way my children respect him. They look up to him. They ask him and they respect what he has to say, his experience, his way of making someone realize what they can do, what habits they can form, what potential they have. I think he's changed the way our children see this world. I would say is I gave them the basic foundations. I fed them, I bathed them, I took them to school, but the kind of human beings they became, it was an outcome of Gulraj. It was the belief system he put in them, it was the value system he put in them, that depth he put in them. It's come from Gulraj. I've been very blessed to have a man like Gulraj in my life, and I often tell him that God must have really loved me to give me a husband like Gulraj.
It's just amazing, like when you've got someone in your life for such a long period of time, there's so much I can say. I'm sitting here trying to think of some negatives. You know, honestly, it's been great having him in my life. You know, Gulraj has been great. I was out of our group of friends, I was the first to get married, and I went into photography at that time. And when Gulraj got married, I had the opportunity to pretty much photograph and had the opportunity to photograph his wedding and create those memories for him. Being on the side of the world in music, and then when I sit in a room listening to him, it's just, he's so well spoken, and it's amazing just to see how he's progressed in life and how well he's done. And I wish him continued success in everything that he does. There's so much anybody can learn from him, and myself.